Hey everybody, so today I wanted to just explore Dunder methods. I think these are really cool and I just learned about them, and if you're ever building any kind of classes, that's what they're used in. If you've ever built a class and used the init method, that's a Dunder method. And one thing that really stood out to me about them is that they allow you to use your objects with native stuff in Revit. So as an example, real quick, this here is just the point object from Dynamo, and if we go and multiply these 2 points together, it's going to give us a type error, right? And then if we wanted to say add those together, that's going to give us a type error as well. And what I'm going to do today is just show the Dunder methods, and I'm going to create another class that uses the point class. We're not going to extend it necessarily or inherit from it, but I wanted to create a new one where we use those methods. And I just think it's really cool, and there's a lot of interesting things you can build on when you start building your own classes by using a lot of that built-in stuff. It makes the code easier to read and just functions a lot easier whenever you use that object in your code. So, and part of the reason why I stumbled on this was because I've been trying to learn more about Python and how to develop better code instead of just defaulting to what I already know. I want to learn more about just general Python, and a lot of the classes out there don't really cover that. I did find a lot of good YouTube videos which cover like various aspects of Python, and a lot of the courses out there are like, after you get out of the basics of it, they become more specialized, like in machine learning and data science. And I may dabble in that stuff from time to time, but my day job, I'm in Python, but I'm in Python in various ways, doing a whole bunch of different things. And so I've been trying to learn more about Python just to make better code. So after I learned this, I thought it was really cool, and that's why I'm making this video, because I wanted to show you guys. But hopefully you'll get some ideas on how you can use this in your own classes when you create those, or how to use these in your own projects. So anyways, let me know if you have any feedback on this or how you might already be using these things. So like you saw, if we add those, it doesn't return. And so I've got this other Python script where we're going to add that functionality in there. And yeah, so let me close this. I'm going to bring this over here, and then we'll open this up. Oh, it's already open. Okay, so I've already got kind of the base built here. So we've got our init method, and I'm going to go ahead and create a string method. And the reason why is, you can see here, if we return our points that we've created, so those are right here, it just returns this unreadable just object information, and it isn't that useful for me. And so by using the string Dunder method, we can return something that's a bit more readable in our output. So if we do string and this is another tip I found. So this string here, this is this code right here is defining what the expected output is. There might be other things that you can, or that this is used for, or like other things on top of this that it's used for, but I don't know all of those just yet. But one thing it does help with me, or for me, is that it just makes it a little bit more readable. And so this is saying, hey, this function is going to return a string, and then like this one up here isn't going to return anything. Also, something else that's helpful for readability is defining like what the actual variable is going to be that's going into this. And so if I come to this function for the first time, I know what's expected. I know what's the expected variable types, and then also what the expected return type is. All right, so now we'll just return a f string. X. All right, so now if we save and run this, we'll get something a little bit more readable there. All right, so now let's add our add Dunder method. So I'm not 100% sure on this part, but what I'm doing is just defining the custom class that is meant to go in here as an input, and putting it as a string works. And I didn't have a chance to look at like any document or Python documentation on that, but I did see something related to this, and so I tried it and it worked. For me, this is pretty clear. I don't know if this is like following the PEP standards, but if you were to pass in just the object and not as a string, then it's just going to tell you, hey, that object doesn't exist. So just like what we did above, here we'll just say the return type is a point. And then what we're going to do now is just add 2 points together and then return a new point. So it'll be x equals self dot x just copy this down real quick. And then now we'll just return our new point. Perfect. So now if we save this, we don't have any errors. Now if we just use the native function in Python to add our 2 points together and then save and run this, you'll see it actually returns a value. So we've added our 2 points and we get so 12 plus 2 for all of the integers, and then we get 14. So if we change this to say 12 for all of those, we should get 24. Now we can do the same thing, but for the addition. So, and actually, you know what? It would be much easier if we just copy this whole thing, since we've only got to change a few things here. Yeah, and there's our point floating way out there. So now if we save this, nothing happens. But if we come down here, multiply it, we'll see that it gets updated. And then if we zoom out, we'll see our point way out there. So anyways, that's kind of the Dunder methods. There's like tons of them. And it started to make me think about all of the code that I've written, the different classes that I've built, and how I could change those and make them better, or, you know, in how I can include this into future code. So I think it's really cool because it just makes things more like more about how more like how you would expect like just regular Python stuff to operate. So like or like for it to work, like the list, or like adding two integers together, or like a list object, and how you can just use the length function on it, or use just all of these built-in functions, and it just works. So I think it just makes it a better experience for the folks using these objects and developing with them. And it makes it a little bit more readable, and I think more just makes a lot more sense just using the native built-in functionality in Revit, or sorry, in Python, rather than building extra functions that do the same things. And so and one thing like along those lines, I was doing some digging, and I think there's a couple like of these types of methods, but like it doesn't cover everything, and so there's still a need to build your own custom functions. It's just you might accomplish, like, it all depends on like what your goal is. So if we wanted this string here to return this because it makes sense here, then we can do that, and then we can have another function, or sorry, like a method built in that would return a different string that's more related to what we're trying to do, or whatever that method is called. So anyways, that's kind of all I've got. I thought this was cool. Just it really opens my mind to like what the different ways I can build classes are, and like what do those look like, and I just really like how easy it is and how it works, how we can take these 2 points and just add them together and it just works, rather than building a separate method for doing that. And so but anyways, that's all I've got for this video. Hopefully you liked it. Let me know if you have any thoughts, and see you in the next one.